Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has been redeclared a wanted person, a fugitive from justice by the Office of the Special Prosecutor effective yesterday, June 2, 2025. We'll run you by the timelines of what the Special Prosecutor has been looking at and why Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta has again been redeclared or has been declared as a fugitive from justice.
3FM Sunrise.
We do know that the Office of the Special Prosecutor is investigating Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta over 5 major issues during his time as a finance minister under President Akufo-Addo. The key issues that are being investigated include petroleum and mineral revenue assurance, that's the controversial SML deal, the contractual agreement between Strategic Mobilization Company Limited or Ghana Limited and the Ghana Revenue Authority, the GRA. The whole conversation, SML deal, as I'm sure you've known by now, is one of the issues that the OSP is investigating Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta for. There's also the conversation about the Electricity Company of Ghana, some contract termination, a Chinese company known as Beijing Xiao Sheng Technology. Termination of that contract between them and the ECG has also come up for investigation. The circumstances leading to the contractual termination and the after effects. Also, there's the National Cathedral project, where procurement procedures and financial transactions related to the National Cathedral have come under the spotlight of the Office of Special Prosecutor. You can add also the ambulance procurement. 307 ambulances, the Ministry of Health contract with Service Ghana Auto Group Limited, with they purchased and maintained 307 ambulances. The OSP says there's a question to be answered in there by Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. And then last but not least, there's the Ghana Revenue Authority's Tax P Fund Management, where the handling and disbursement of funds from the tax P fund account of the GRA has also come under scrutiny by the Office of a Special Prosecutor. If you pay attention to the timeline of events, and I'll guide you through it quickly. In January 2025, the OSP officially notified Mr. Ofori-Atta that he was a suspect in 5 separate cases and asked him to appear in person on the 10th of February 2025. So in January, Mr. Ofori-Atta was notified that this is what we are investigating and will require presence on the 10th of February. Then on the 31st of January 2025, Mr. Ofori-Atta's lawyers informed the Office of the Special Prosecutor that he was abroad indefinitely for medical reasons and offered to represent him in his absence. On the 5th of February 2025, the OSP rejected the claim of indefinite absence and demanded a firm return date by the 10th of February, which had earlier been communicated to Mr. Ofori-Atta. They added a warning of legal consequences for failure to comply. They also reminded the lawyers of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta that legal representatives cannot respond to criminal charges on behalf of clients. Then comes the 10th of February 2025, where lawyers of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta submitted a doctor's note, not addressed specifically to anyone, stating he was undergoing tests and possibly surgery with no clear return date. 12th of February 2025, with no cooperation, the Office of the Special Prosecutor declared Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta a fugitive from justice, acting on an arrest warrant. Subsequently, on the 18th of February, Mr. Ofori-Atta appealed to the OSP to remove his name from the wanted list and for the first time provided a definite return date in May 2025. The OSP accepted his assurance and subsequently took his name off the list. I take that again. If you go back to 18th of February 2025, Mr. Ofori-Atta, based on the fact that the OSP had declared him a wanted person and a fugitive from justice on the 12th of February, on the 18th, he appealed to the OSP to remove his name from that wanted list. And for the first time, he gave them a definite date, that's the OSP, a definite date to return in May 2025. Based on that assurance, the OSP said, okay, let me take your name off the wanted list. Now, then comes in a legal challenge. The legal challenge began on March 2025, when Mr. Ofori-Atta filed a lawsuit against the OSP and the special prosecutor, the office and the special prosecutor, seeking compensation for what he called an unlawful declaration of him as a wanted person, and asked for the removal of related publications from the OSP social media. So I'll take you back to 18 February. There was a gentleman's agreement that there was a firm date that he was going to return in May. In between February and May comes March and April. But in March, Mr. Ofori-Atta went then to the court to say, you have dented my image and all of that, so you should compensate me. Then 28th of March 2025, the Human Rights Court heard an interim application from Mr. Ofori-Atta asking that the OSP be barred from declaring him wanted again. The next steps that the OSP intends to take, and we will listen to the OSP as he spoke yesterday to the nation, that the 2nd of June, which was yesterday, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is expected to report in person to the OSP headquarters. The OSP further had stated earlier that if Mr. Ofori-Atta failed to appear before them on the 2nd of June as agreed, his name will be added back to the list of wanted persons, which has been done, and he will again be declared a fugitive from justice, which has also been done. And in such a case, the OSP will also begin the processes to request an Interpol red notice against him, which has also been done. So now, that is where we are. Let's go and listen to the OSP, Mr. Kiseja being the special prosecutor, I should say. OSP is the office.
Today is Monday.
Let's listen to him, what he had to say. Listen to him.
Today is Monday, 2 June 2025. It is more than 3 hours past the scheduled time of Mr. Ofori-Atta's attendance at the OSP. And Mr. Ofori-Atta failed to attend the OSP today. Mr. Ofori-Atta's conduct is totally unacceptable and a baleful spite at law enforcement and criminal investigations. It ends here. It ends today. We will no longer accommodate him. Consequently, the OSP redeclares that Mr. Ofori-Atta is a wanted person and a fugitive from justice. His name is hereby re-entered on the OSP's list of wanted persons. The OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure Mr. Ofori-Atta's return to the jurisdiction and to answer to the criminal inquiries against him. OSP will prefer criminal charges in the courts against Mr. Ofori-Atta in due course, whether in absentia or otherwise. The principle upon which we proceed is that no person, regardless of title, regardless of status, regardless of medical condition, is beyond the reach of inquiry by the OSP. From 20 to 21 March, when he said he was going to have the possible medical intervention, surgical intervention, upon which reckoning we indulgently said, oh, take some of the days, recuperate. So he suggested he will come between 14 to 30 May. We said, oh, take a few more days. Come on 2nd June. How friendly can we be? Beyond this, after accommodating you, you sat by for at least 67 days when you knew your condition had changed, and you never bothered to tell the OSP that there's been a fundamental change in your condition. You're acting in bad faith, utter bad faith, and for which reason we have stopped this party. What will his presence do? Now, as I said, in due course, we will charge him, whether in absentia or otherwise. Imagine we charge him in absentia and we get a conviction against him. Who are we imprisoning? Or who are we fining? Say, to get a simple mathematics of it. As I said in my brief, a suspect in a criminal matter does not choose how the investigative authority should go about investigating him when he wants to appear,
Sunrise on 3
when he
FM,
decides to
the best
appear,
in the morning.
in what way he wants to appear. We do not take caution statements online from a foreign jurisdiction. And who says I even want to take a caution statement from him? He is the one who is dictating. He wants to dictate the process. You get it? And we have always insisted from the onset that we want him here. Legally, I will say that to you. But there's a far more grave reason why we need him here. And since the investigation is still going on, it will be rounded up soon. I will not be able to disclose to you. But as I said, that possibility, if we take him to court, if he is convicted, if he is sentenced to some number of days, months, years in prison, in absentia, what would we have done if we didn't to bring him here? Mind you, this office investigated a former president.
Sunrise
The former
on 3
president
FM,
was served
the
at the
best in
time
morning.
with the same kind of directive to appear before the OSP. We didn't have to be chasing the former president around the world. How much less the former Minister of Finance? What is so special about Mr. Ofori-Atta that he thinks is unique and should be treated like a king?
That was the special prosecutor, Mr. Kesie Jebin there. And there's a letter from Mayo Clinic. And it's Mayo Clinic is on the 201st Street, SW, southwest of Rochester, Minnesota, 55905. Out there, mayoclinic.org. If you doubt, you can just check their website. And there's a letter to Mr. Kenneth Ofori-Atta, 36 Sithole Road, Laboni, Accra. It's dated the 14th of May 2025. Re Kenneth Ofori-Atta, MC hash 12-988-026. His date of birth is also there, stated by the OSP's correct here, 11th of July 1959. And the letter reads, to whom it may concern, not addressed to any specific person, but says to whom it may concern. Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing to inform you that Mr. Ofori-Atta has undergone an MR-guided biopsy and has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. A surgical intervention has been deemed necessary after the testing and MRI and biopsy procedures in March 2025, as I indicated in my February letter. This surgical procedure has been scheduled for June 13 with Dr. Paras Shah of the Department of Urology, and see attached letter. We don't have that. It is hoped that a closer date may open up. Following the procedure, Mr. Ofori-Atta will require a recovery period before he is able to travel to his home country. Please feel free to contact me if you require any additional information or have further questions. Best regards, Ahmed Abdul Rahim, MD, FACP, FSVM, Section of International Medicine in Rochester, GIM, Mayo Clinic, Rochester, MN. And it's to Dr. Paras. That's the report, that's the enclosures, and then the surgical pathology report. Mayo Clinic authenticated this on the 15th of May 2025. But the OSP would have none of this. Edem Senanu is joining us, his co-chair for the Citizens Movement Against Corruption. Edem, good morning. Thank you for your time, Mr. Senanu.
Good morning, sir.
The OSP says he won't agree. He won't listen to any more excuses. he is bent on dragging Mr. Ofori-Atta into this country. Is he being too high-handed? The man says he's not well and he has a procedure coming up. Is the OSP being too hard?
I missed the first part. Did you say you had before you a letter from Mayo Clinic?
That's correct.
Indicating the biopsy report and the surgery?
That's right. That Mr. Ofori-Atta is due for surgery on the 13th of June. And he has been diagnosed of prostate cancer. The OSP said yesterday that indeed Mr. Ofori-Atta had sent them a letter suggesting that he had some cancer, but he was not specific. But this morning, this letter is saying that he has prostate cancer and has to undergo surgery in June, 13th of June, and then he will need some more time to recuperate. But the OSP says he will have none of that because if the surgery, which was supposed to have taken place in March, did not happen, it was incumbent on Mr. Ofori-Atta to have told him or to have informed the office that, the surgery has been postponed so that they also know what residual measures to take. Is the OSP being too hard on Mr. Ofori-Atta?
I don't think so. I think that it was the responsibility of Mr. Ofori-Atta and his team to have kept the OSP apprised of this. What I want to know is that this letter you have, does it have the letterhead of Mayo Clinic, or it has an individual's accreditation at the bottom?
I see. Now, the OSP says they went ahead to investigate.
No, I was asking a question. I'm not sure whether you got it. I was saying the letter you have before you, is it on the letterhead of Mayo Clinic?
Yes.
Or it just has the accreditation of a doctor at the bottom?
Well, it has the accreditation of the doctor at the bottom. It has the logo of Mayo Clinic at the top. But it is not addressed to any specific person. It is to whom it may concern, really.
Yeah, that's the problem, because when it's like that, then it means that the special prosecutor has to do the background check to try and confirm that this is legit. And that's the kind of thing you don't want to receive at the last minute. All of these things, if you give 2nd June and you are committed, before the negotiation, they took you off the wanted list, you should have given sufficient time because, security agencies want to cross-check and confirm and be certain. This is definitely going to be very irritable for anyone who is in intelligence that you made this commitment, it took a lot of negotiation.
Right.
Then you wait 4 days or so to it. Then you provide something which is also generic, which means that they probably need to get into international order to try and confirm. I don't think that the team that is representing Mr. Ofori-Atta is doing things in a manner that allows the special prosecutor to have a lot of confidence and be comfortable with how they're doing things.
Now, the Ghanaian public are looking up to the OSP to say that, look, you declared this man wanted in the past. He came to you with an appeal, and then you had to pull down the wanted notice you had put on him. And then he subsequently went to court to go and seek the audience of the court to say that you had actually, for want of a better expression, embarrassed him, caused him some public ridicule and all of that, and the court had to deal with the issues. Now you are declaring him wanted again. The Ghanaian public are asking, will the OSP be firm this time around? Do you get that sense as well from what you said?
Well, once they have put him on the international wanted list, I doubt that the OSP would want its international credibility to be dented by having to do actions that other agencies at the international level would not take them seriously. So I'm quite sure that this time they'll stick to their gun. And if you're in a country where we do have some kind of treaty or negotiation or negotiated extradition agreement,
right,
they are likely to bring you back. So,
now,
I'm
right.
not sure. I'm not sure that this time they're going to back down.
Okay, and then comes the conversation about humanitarian grounds and also the health status of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. He is due for surgery according to Mayo Clinic on the 13th of June. Should the OSP be tampering Mercy, justice with Mercy, holding on so that he gets fit and well before literally cracking down on him?
I think that, the OSP at this stage would want to,
Sunrise
as
on
it were,
3 FM, the best in the
one,
morning.
they would have to do a due diligence on whatever documentation has been provided. But at the same time, what it is that they are saying, international community, if you see this man anywhere, bring him back. And I guess my interpretation is that, look, if in the last 5 months, this surgery that was supposed to have been an emergency in January was not done, and he's had the energy to be engaging different parties and going to court, then it is very well the case that he's not so physically weak that he cannot come and answer questions. That's my interpretation of where we find ourselves. And I think that's a fair conclusion to draw.
Right.
But all this time, the engagements he's been having with lawyers, the other courts he's been asking them to go to, if there really was an emergency, would not now be hearing in June that they are now scheduling it. After all, we're told the same thing in January and February.
That's right.
So I think the OSP is just simply saying that, look, this man does not appear to be so weak that he cannot be physically present. Let's bring him and let's get our work done.
I see. Well, but the bottom line is to fight corruption, to stamp it, make some recoveries for the state. Do you see the OSP going in that direction, or do you just see the OSP trying to say, you did wrong, come, we'll put you behind bars? What do you see?
No, I think that, the 5 cases that have been listed, there are significant sums of money involved.
Right.
And there's opportunity in most cases to retrieve some of those sums of money, depending on who benefited and if they did not benefit legitimately. There's an opportunity for negotiating and retrieving sums of money. So I don't think this is just about the person. I think it's much more about the information he has. It's also about the systems we have in place and how these systems were breached, so to speak. How did we end up with these kinds of deals going through, these monies being lost? The answers to that provide opportunities for us to strengthen internal systems. That's important. And having held the position of minister, there will be some understanding of how did we even get to this point. So the information is very important. Retrieving as much of the money as possible is important. And then holding persons culpable. And it's one of the things in my mind. If you say you can do a virtual engagement, if the man is found to be guilty, what's the value of the person being virtually in some other jurisdiction? If he's found to be guilty, what will have happened to the ordinary citizen is from there we proceed to send you to jail. We send you, you must be available for the court cases. So I think that for civil cases, as the electronic law allows, this makes sense, virtual discussion. But for criminal cases, it makes all the sense that you are within the jurisdiction. In quite a number of those cases, you'll be put on bail so that we are sure you don't attempt to disappear. And I think that everybody should be treated equally before the law. Let's not begin to create new precedents for some people,
right?
And leave others and say that they must always show up and be the ones who are physically interrogated.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edemson. I know we're grateful that you joined us this morning. We're grateful.
And thank you for having me.
That's Mr. Edemson. I know he is the co-chair for the Citizens Movement Against Corruption. We'll get into our 10th anniversary conversation of the June 3 disaster that happened on June 3.